I hate rankings. I really do. I genuinely think they're useless. But okay, well, let's go. Top 10 weirdest Bond moments. Top 10, yeah, the Tarzan yell from Octopussy. Definitely one of the more cringeworthier moments from the Bond films. Octopussy being a gag-laden film, basically. I mean, it was full of so many gags. And it wasn't the only Tarzan yell in the year 1983 when Octopussy was released. There was also Chewbacca in Return of the Jedi, which was released before Octopussy. There is this scene where Chewbacca swings through the trees, and also there is the Tarzan yell. I think in Octopussy it's so misplaced. It doesn't really work. I don't think there is a better sound that you can put underneath that stunt. I think Martin Grace did that stunt, swinging from the vines, but don't like it. No. Ooh, I've spoken about that in the live watch-along I did with Yannick Zenoisen on my channel, the Live and Let Die watch-along that we did last year. The Rape by Deception, yeah, it's a classic. So basically what happens is Roger Moore's Bond seduces the Bond girl, card reader Solitaire, played by Jane Seymour, brilliantly, by the way, with a stack of tarot cards, because she's a card reader, and he has this whole stack of lovers cards that he got from God knows somewhere, and he tricks her into having sex with him because she really believes in those cards. And what these cards, the lovers cards, basically say that they are meant to be together, and he has a whole stack of them, and he really tricks her, and I always find that difficult to watch, actually. Yeah, so that's my number 9.
I find her fascinating, but she needs a psychiatrist, not me.
What she needs is a man to dominate her, to make love to her enough to make her love him.
Yeah, we have to speak about Dracco from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, played by the brilliant Gabriele Fassetti. What I always found weird about Dracco is how creepy he actually is towards his daughter, and that oozes from the screen. It is clear that Tracy DiVincenzo, who later marries Bond, has some personal problems. She has some issues, and the only way he, as a father, as a parent, is addressing these issues is by saying she needs a man. So that is totally weird, and, well, obviously it fits the time where people actually thought like that, the end of the 60s. It's a cruel way to think like that, but from today's perspective, you look at it that way. He also says she needs to obey her husband. He says it directly to her. He offers Bond £1 million if he marries Tracy, and he does that actually twice. He does it at the wedding. He gives him these £1 million, and Bond refuses, thank God. One thing George Lazenby's Bond did right. He refuses the £1 million.
On the day you marry her, I'll give you a personal dowry of £1 million in gold.
What kind of a thing is that? Buying a wife or something? It's not like an allowance, or it's just weird. And Dracco slaps her on Piz Gloria when she tries to help rescue Bond, and he just knocks her unconscious. I think this is an appalling way for a parent to behave, and it's quite obvious in On Her Majesty's. I didn't like that. I always feel weird when I watch that. It's weird because when you look at that scene in the casino in Macau between Daniel Craig's Bond and Severine, the Bond girl, he notices that tattoo she has on her wrist. This is a tattoo belonging to a sex trafficking ring or a sex slave ring. So he knows that. He has the knowledge that she has been used as a slave for sex since the age of 12, I think it is mentioned in the film. And just a couple of scenes after that, he decides to go on her boat, go into the shower with her, and you know that they are going to have sex. So he uses her. There is absolutely no love involved. I don't get that feeling from the portrayal of Severine that she sees him as a love interest equally like he probably sees her. So they don't fall in love. He just makes love to her, and he uses her pretty much the same way she has been used all her life. And ooh, that's cringeworthy. Yeah, definitely.
Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in. I'm delighted to meet you, Miss Case.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. And I would rank it higher if I would like rankings, but I don't. So I just put it on number 6 because this is so brilliantly weird. Like the whole film, Diamonds Are Forever, it is a weird film full of gags and full of things that go well, and a lot of stuff doesn't work at all. Like Blofeld being degraded as a transvestite. He is the big villain of the film. Blofeld is the villain of so many Bond films, and he's just put in that car with that transvestite costume and that cat, and it just looks so rubbish. And I really burst out in laughter whenever I see that scene. I don't take that film seriously at all, Diamonds Are Forever, no. But that really takes the prize of top 6. Blofeld as a transvestite. It's just ridiculous.
Where's your boat? Fetch my shoes.
Oh, yeah, that scene in Dr. No, where Sean Connery tells Quarrel to fetch his shoes. I mean, nothing screams racism just as brilliantly as that. And it's in the middle of that attack scene at Crab Key, and Bond is there with Honey Rider and Quarrel on the beach, and this sentence just comes out of the blue, like they wrote it in there for like salt and pepper of racism. Let's sprinkle some here, let's sprinkle some there, and there is just this sentence. Oh, and it is so weird, and it's difficult to watch. Really, it didn't age well, no, and it shouldn't, to be quite frank. Getting closer to the top 3. For the top 4, I actually picked the space laser battle of Moonraker. Moonraker is a film that many people have a problem with. I don't so much, actually, until that space laser battle. I think it's really weird. It's absolutely, well, out of this world. I mean, I understand the motivation behind it. Moonraker was made in the Star Wars hype following 1977's Star Wars. And, of course, they tried to get people into the cinema with saying that Bond can do that too. Bond can go into space. And it was the one place where Bond hadn't been. I mean, he hadn't been to Australia. They could have done that. But, okay, they went for space. But it's just awkward to watch. I mean, they did the best they could with the effects, but I just feel it's overly long, and I don't like the sound effects of that scene. It all feels comical, and I thought that destroyed the final act of the film a little bit. Maybe destroy is a hard word, but it degraded the final act of the film a lot for me, so that's definitely weird. Oh, the top 3. That is really difficult. Did I mention I hated rankings? Yeah, very much did. Okay, but I put Blofeld as Bond's foster brother. on top 3 of weirdest moments because, well, they brought Blofeld back in Spectre after a long legal battle to use that character of Blofeld. And I thought, oh, that's a great opportunity. There was a lot of rumbling that Blofeld would be coming back. Also that Christoph Waltz would be playing him. He denied it, and then it was confirmed. And I thought, okay, you can really do a lot with that. And with a title like Spectre, the terror organization, I was really baffled. And I thought, okay, that must be the return of Blofeld. And he was a menacing villain throughout the early films. It depended on the portrayal, really. I mean, Diamonds Are Forever wasn't that great, but the other Blofelds were really good and menacing. Think of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, for example, or You Only Live Twice. Blofeld had a menacing appearance there. And my thoughts were, okay, if they do it right, this could really be something great. And then it turns out that he's Bond's foster brother. And they spend their childhood together until one of them went missing, which was Blofeld. And he reveals himself as Ernst Stavro Blofeld to Bond in Spectre, in that chair scene. And I thought, that doesn't work at all. They probably thought they had a really good twist there, but it didn't take me along for the ride. No, not at all. I think it's absolutely weird. It was a weird writing decision, a script decision, and it didn't work for me at all. But it fit in the timeline of the Daniel Craig films with all this drama and family relations and Bond's past. Still, even under that aspect, it didn't work for me at all. I just find it plain weird. Top 2 of Bond's weirdest moments. This is so difficult. No, it isn't. It actually isn't. My number 2 of Bond's weirdest moments is the slide whistle in The Man with the Golden Gun, with that superb car stunt, which was so tricky to do and looks so great on screen. And they destroy that moment for millions of audiences around the globe. And I don't know if it's in your ranking, but it's definitely in mine. Then they have that slide whistle while the car is spinning in the air. I know Cubby Broccoli didn't like it. He thought it made the whole scene ridiculous, and he was right. It made the whole scene ridiculous. It is still ridiculous. Well, it's there forever. It's on screen. They never changed it. And recently I did a special on YouTube about the sound effects of Bond, and I replaced that side whistle just with a bit of silence and the sound of the car jumping off that ramp. And I actually think it is much better with a little bit of silence. It works so much better. But the slide whistle, no go. No. Never liked it. Oh boy. The number 1. Yeah, you can probably think what my number 1 is. It's Die Another Day, unfortunately. And a specific scene. It's not just Die Another Day in general. Some people would say Die Another Day is in itself the weirdest moment in Bond history, the entire runtime of the film. But no, I actually disagree. I like it very much because there is so much happening, and every minute of the film there's something happening that takes you along for the ride, and it's real popcorn cinema. But the CGI, and especially what I'm referring to, is the scene where he rides the waves and there are these CGI icebergs behind him. I think that was really very low production value, and it doesn't look good on screen, on a small screen, on a cinema screen, here on the beamer, and in 4K, where it becomes even more apparent how digital that was, and it just looks awful. So that is really my weirdest Bond moment of all time. It's and it happens fast. So there's the music, da 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 da, and then you have all this CGI glory. Oh, it's just so awful. I'm really sorry for everybody who likes that scene. Won't be many, I think. But that is my top one of the weirdest moments in Bond history. Yeah. Are we done? Okay, good. I really hate rankings. Are there more? Okay, good. Well, let's do it then.